Chris Watkin back again with Megan 18, TikTok letting agent superstar from Reading. Megan, talk to me about women role models in estate letting agency.
God, we've got so many, haven't we? I bet most of them have sat here, haven't they?
Hope so.
I think that we as women, obviously we always want more, but we do have some amazing people.
Don't men?
Well, of course, we all need role models in our life. For me, I think we've got some amazing representation in people like Nikki Stevenson from Fine & Country, Heather from Spectre. She is incredible. But we've even got people like Vicky and Amy, like really raising up the game at a different level. And I think we are incredibly lucky to have those kinds of people in our industry, whether they are male or female or not.
Do you think there's an issue in a estate letting agency where there's some form of glass ceiling with regard to women?
I think the glass ceiling is only there if you think it's there. Yes, I know that you could look at some companies and have poor examples of equality and diversity. For example, I recently were approached by another company for a job, amazing job. And I said to them, I can't come to you because unfortunately I don't agree with your ethics. And they said, well, why not? I said, well, your gender pay gaps are almost 50%. So I can't put myself in a position that would be, I'm okay with that. And they said, well, it's about averages. And I was like, I don't understand how that is a thing now. But it made me think that actually as women, if we're going to go work for companies that don't represent us in that way, do we not have an obligation to make sure that we are also flying that flag and saying, look.
But then you could change it from within if you did join.
You could, but then, for me, certainly big companies that have got a 50% pay gap stat already, I wouldn't want to give them my time because there are companies out there that absolutely will.
Did it shock them?
Yeah, I think they were a bit surprised by my reaction, yeah.
What about mum guilt? I've had an awful lot of women on the sofa talking about that they feel guilty trying to run a household, a marriage, because let's be honest, men are like, okay, and also run a career as well, and something's got to give.
Yeah, I think the best thing I can say is that mum guilt is a totally wasted emotion.
Okay.
It is completely wasted because it doesn't help anybody. The best thing I ever got told was, if you're asking, am I a good parent? And this isn't about being a mum, this is about being a parent, I think. If you're asking if you're a good parent, that means you're a good parent because bad parents don't ask themselves if they're good parents. So if you're doing the best you can for your child, that is the best that you can really offer. Now, yeah, there are times where work maybe and Dex have to be balanced.
Dex is your son?
Dex is my son, yeah. And that's tough. But we make it work, and like I went to an event last week and picked up an award, and bringing that home and Dexter being able to hold it, he was so excited. And I think I'm raising a young male in a world where he doesn't see that there's any difference between a mummy or a daddy.
Do you think that's the responsibility of all parents? We can't change these old buggers who are probably 50 or 60 set in their ways. Is this a generational change?
I think so. I think with everything, there's a generational change, whether that be ethnic minorities, sexuality, or gender. We are in probably what I would hope to be now this new era where it doesn't matter what colour of skin you have, what your pipe work is. We're all kind of working to the same goal. As long as it's not tokenism, that's the big thing for me.
What about imposter syndrome? I mean, I know just about every single person that sat there has suffered in one shape or form from imposter syndrome, and I think you need some of it, otherwise you won't care. I know for a fact you in the past have suffered from that, because you even said to me, you don't think you're good enough to sit on that sofa, so I slapped you.
You did.
Virtually.
Well, I texted you and then you rung me and went, don't be so ridiculous.
So, I think it was a bit stronger than that.
I was trying to be polite for everybody.
Okay then, go on.
Yeah, I think everybody has suffered to a level. I think how you work through it is really important. I work really closely with Vicky, my mentor and agents together, and that's something that she is absolutely smashing out of me at the moment.
Finally, what can bosses, especially male bosses, do to help their, we're talking towards the end of 2022, good staff are hard to come by. you know, I'm sure there's plenty of female mums out there who would want to come back, but for some reason the bosses are saying it's a 9 to 5 job and you have to be in at 9, you have to be at 5. What could bosses do to help those transitioning mums come back into the industry?
Well, I think we could get a little bit of a lesson of you, give them a little slap round, because actually good staff, it doesn't matter that I don't work Thursdays, so I work Monday to Wednesday and then Fridays. What you get out of me in that time is far more than you would get from an average person over 5 days. And I think making sure that you recognise your good staff in that respect, but also making sure they feel comfortable coming back. You know, it might be that they're breastfeeding and that they're worried about how to feed their child because they won't take a bottle. Help them through that. Don't put obstacles in their way. Try, you know, because if you ask me to pick between my career and Dexter, there's no comparison.
Obviously, the dogs would win over Dexter, though.
Obviously, that's a whole different podcast, though, right?
Final thoughts.
I think that we all have a responsibility, whether you're male or female, and if we're all let's stop looking at the negative always and look at some of the positives that we have. Some amazing people in our industry.
Thank you for your time today, Megan.
Thanks, Chris.